All right, we are moving on to I wish I could say it's comedy, but the Flaccid election 2024 is here. We had a few dropouts from after the Iowa caucuses on the Republican side. Vivek Ramaswamy started off saying a vote for him was a vote for Trump. So don't vote for Trump, vote for him if what you really want is Trump. I don't know, some very strange circular logic. And then he just dropped out and endorsed Trump right away and is now calling on Nikki Haley and DeSantis to join him in the inevitable surge.
And Christie, I think, is doing the opposite. He's just like, he dropped out. I mean, he's the only one that ever called out Trump stuff, but
as hard as he did. Yeah.
I mean,
that's why liberals on MSNBC and CNN love him. He's their go-to person. They bring him on.
He's the one who's got the little quip ready to go against Trump, which makes a little soundbite they can put a video out.
What do you call him? Ducking Donald the Duck, because he wasn't going to debate. Whatever. So silly.
But I just want to mention, since you're bringing up that, like, somebody on Twitter said this, but like the first time that Trump says to Biden in a debate, "Genocide Joe."
I mean, there's nothing.
And don't think he can't frame things that way.
100%.
And he doesn't care. And Israel probably doesn't even care by the time Trump gets to that position.
I mean, they like Trump way more than they like Genocide Joe, and
they're gonna know. They're gonna know Trump's in their corner. It's just political theater.
100%.
He's gonna genocide Joe his way to the White House.
I think that is exactly what's going to happen. We never firmed up, solidified our bet where you said that DeSantis.
Where's the mute button?
Oh my God.
Okay,
I never came up with a really good punishment for you. But you should have a punishment.
I still don't know that he's their nominee. It's still TBD.
Well, listen, this is what Trump just posted on his Truth Social about his main competition in the general election.
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
I mean, last week he was wandering around on stage imitating Biden to much laughter. This week he's putting out, somebody else did that compilation. It puts that out. I mean, yeah. And the answer back to that is all Biden talks about is the big lie. He's dropped to a new low right now in his approval ratings. This is where he is. The January of 2024, 33% approval, all time low.
By all metrics, by anyone being honest who covers political theater, the races, horse races, all this stuff, he's going to lose. Like, anyone pretending anything else is just propagandist. Like, there's a possibility something like COVID happens, something like, 2 days before the election, they realize we have video of Trump raping someone or something like really obscene that even his own supporters can't support. But other than that, he's lost. It's already over. I mean, they're putting out stories on the Hill of like Biden winning in like the bluest. Biden's beating Trump in California. Like that's a headline. This is a story. They're spinning everything they've got, and they have nothing.
Yeah, they have nothing. They have on the books that he's going to be meeting with Arab and Muslim leaders in Michigan, but already some of the people who head up groups there are saying we're not meeting with him, and they'll watch them talk about how it's going to be like a scheduling conflict or something. We're not meeting with him. We're not voting for him. We're not voting for Trump, but we're not casting a vote for Genocide Joe. So that is done. He's lost young people. That whole idea of demographics being destiny, he's disproven that as Black voters, Hispanic voters, young voters some of them are moving over to Trump, but they're definitely abandoning the Democratic Party, which has its lowest number of people who identify as part of the party in decades.
Yeah, it's something like 27% or something.
Yeah.
Versus independents, which is, again, I'm just making numbers up, but 44%.
Sure.
I want to say.
Whatever.
But there are so many movable people in the middle.
Yeah.
And the issue isn't even that they're going to move to Trump. It's just they're not going to vote. That's what's going to kill Biden. It is not Trump support that's going to kill Biden. It's people just going, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that Trump does have an enthusiastic base. I mean, you're right. I don't think
his base.
The disaffected Democratic voters, yes, are not like Arab Americans, Muslim Americans who had thought they were going to vote for Biden before this are likely not moving over to Genocide Trump, because if he were in charge at this point, I am sure the same thing would be happening. Although he's just chaotic enough that, I mean, I don't think he'd mind it, but he's chaotic enough that I wonder if they would have thought they could totally get away with how it's all playing out. I have no idea. Anyway, but the point is he's not the person in charge while it's happening.
But I do think there would be more calls on Israel even in this situation with Trump as president. I mean, from
the left, from all Democrats.
You have, if you just had MSNBC, which is an arm of the Democratic Party, if they latched onto it and were like, oh, we got to make this a story because it hurts the Republicans,
right?
Then CNN would have to take a little bit of that story up, which would change the dynamic a little bit.
Yep. People in Congress. I mean, you know, the one time, remember who is it? Peter Jennings or Tom Brokaw? No, Peter Jennings.
The bombs. He was the bomb.
Yeah. It was like, today is the day when Trump bombed Syria, the mother of all bombs.
Yeah, when he became our president.
Yeah. And he was like, today is the day Trump really became president. So, I mean, I agree. I do think that Democrats, liberals, whatever, would be calling Trump out in a way that they are not calling Biden out. But I wonder if it would even be at the level that I would hope it would be. But anyway, Biden's done. But Lindsey Graham talking to his fellow Republicans today saying we better take this border policy that Biden is offering us because we're never going to get something as favorable to our loathsome position, even with Trump, as we're going to get with Biden, because they know that there are enough Democrats who are going to sign on and get their hateful border policy.
NPR today was all about playing comments by people saying, you know, the budget, because passing the budget, the budget resolution, whatever. Sorry, my cat is biting my toes as we speak. Not biting, clawing the fuck out of my toes. Excuse me. NPR, their whole thing was they're promoting a bipartisan message. They're saying, look, this is likely to pass. Let's hear some quotes by Democrats saying we're tough on the border too. Both sides acknowledge the border is a big issue. Yeah. You know, so they're teaching, they're
bipartisan compromise.
Yeah, they're training their super progressive liberal left audience to just go, you know what? Everybody agrees that we need to build that wall, you know, more or less.
See, Biden can bring both sides together. When it comes to funding cops, building the wall, deporting people, migrants in cages.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the whole thing's about funding Ukraine. Really, it's all about funding Ukraine, which is funding the military industrial complex, which is funding
more war, less us.
Everything we don't agree with. Like the public doesn't support Ukraine, the Ukraine war at this point.
But what they will, and I mean, I don't know what this fixation with liberals is on bipartisan compromise, being the adults in the room, you know, not just put on your big boy pants, don't take your ball and go home. All of that bullshit rhetoric, which just means that all of the CEOs get exactly what they want because they take their ball and go home the second they don't get what they want. So to act like that's not what politics is just so ignorant.
The whole shtick for the last 20 years has been Republicans are unreasonable and Democrats are reasonable. And the Democrats' reasonableness is just giving Republicans what they want because that's what their donors want.
Exactly.
It's the Harlem Globetrotters in action.
Generals. Yep. Every time.
Every time.
All right. That's it on Biden, right? Is there anything else we need to say about Biden and 2024? It's going to be, but I will just say, what'd you say?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're right. God, that's got to be so much.
It's long, though. It's too long.
Talk about. Yeah.
It's too long.
Darn it. Well, maybe we can show it next week because it's so exemplary of everything. That Nikki Haley is being pushed by corporate news as the sane Republican and the future of the Republican Party and the good one. Like, she is the one that Republican donors, but also cable news really wants. And Joy Ann Reid said that the reason she didn't win Iowa is because Iowa is so racist. That's she and the ladies of the View could be also always our.
So she said that Nikki Haley didn't win Iowa because Iowa's racist.
Mm-hmm. Unlike South Carolina that's elected her as governor twice, but okay.
But this is following Nikki Haley refusing to acknowledge that racism was a part of the Civil War.
Yeah, or even that it exists in this country. She says it's never been a racist country. She changed her name.
Like, Joy Ann Reid is the biggest piece of shit. Like,
the worst. Just
she could be the worst of the week every week.